Welcome to the School of Wordcraft and Worldmancy. This is Feedback Frenzy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to WriterGreg School of Worldcraft and Worldmancy. It is time for a Submit Saturday word fiction review or world building article for your review. If you'd like to be featured in a future Submit Saturday highlight, please visit wgc.bz/submit to submit your future content. All right, so we have another article here from kitoypoy, and honestly, when I pulled this up, I went, "Whoa." Because that dude is creepy looking. That is the first thing I saw, was that face there, the red eyes, the blood on the lips. I mean, is this Art Breeder? Because that is some seriously creepy vibes. As we have Valentine, king of vampires. Let's do the zoom out. Okay, this is the Shards of Thea. I got that off Mid-Journey AI thing. Okay. All right, so it looks like we just have the picture, we have the pledge document, and a whole bunch of details about the person. But it looks like we'll just jump straight into this. And this is a diamond prompt for World Anvil Summer Camp. A person considered villainous or monstrous. Very nice. That would definitely work for... No, I'm just going to... Okay, leave it at 200. This is the first draft. I have lots of quotes from him, but they're not there yet. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see when it comes to what needs to be expanded upon. We can see if we're in the same line there. Any discussion of Valentine, the former king of vampires, requires both balance and nuance. The self-styled Butcher of Carafar persisted in undeath for 600 years as a hedonistic predator and indiscriminate killer of innocents. However, when the Far War came and the world was almost lost, his efforts saved all of us. Oh, wow. Okay. I believe self-styled probably should be hyphenated. But yeah, that is... Eesh. Oh yeah, Valentine was a ruthless monster who did horrific things during his centuries of unlife. But in the end, he kicked the elves back into shape after their great defeat. He led the coalition to victory on the moon and fought like a demon. Let's just say that I have a soft spot for monsters that do heroic things. Well, okay, so I've talked a lot about how I like these two quote bringers who bring a lot of information from two different points of view. But this is just right there, this is a great introduction between the title, the Butcher of Carafar. We know so much about this person already. That indiscriminate killer of innocents. Yeah, he's a bad guy, but he saved us all. And see, I'm already hooked. I want to know why this monstrous monster is heroic. Interesting. In life, Baron Valentine Benedek was a minor noble from a small province in Carafar. He was killed and afflicted with vampirism in his mid-20s, locking him into undeath at the height of his physical beauty. He spent a few decades in thrall to his maker. He gained a reputation for his extreme beauty and his sadistic brutality. In thrall, I guess I don't know much about vampire lore, but I just seen in thrall, I'm presuming means like in total subjugation to or in honor of the maker. Like the first couple decades, you're just following around the person who brought you into vampirism, I'm guessing. I don't know. That's correct. Okay. Rise of Valentine. Valentine, is it Valentine or Valentine? Valentine was released from thraldom late in his first century of unlife when his maker was hunted down and staked by adventurers. Oh, is that the only way that you can be released from thraldom? Valentine? The first one. Okay. Is that the only? Okay, so this may be common knowledge to those who are familiar with vampiric lore, but as a person who doesn't delve into that stuff, this is kind of new, and I'm just going off the stuff that the questions I get as I'm reading through. Hopefully that helps. He joined the Blood Moon Covenant clan of vampires and swiftly rose through the ranks of their leadership. He dedicated himself to the darker aspects of the moon goddess Thea. In 5 short decades, he rose to clan leader and then set his sights on an even bigger prize. Maker can be killed or release his thrall if he wants. Okay. He began a war among the vampire clans, seeking the title of Vampire King. He started by assassinating the leaders of smaller clans and absorbing them whole into his covenant. After decades of conflict and thousands of dusted vampires, he finally succeeded in uniting the clans beneath him, becoming the one Vampire King as a relatively young vampire in his second century of undeath. That sound is okay. Under the expand category, if you were to expand this part, it would be cool to know, like, if it was slow and steady subterfuge. Was this a spy thing that happened behind the scenes, or was this an all-and-out battle for the throne? It'd be interesting to know how he operated, because he has the self-proclaimed title Butcher of Karafar. And did he earn that during his rise to power or afterwards? This is interesting. He maintained an iron grip on his station for 4 centuries. I have lots of quotes from Valentine, but I have prompts to finish before I can come back to him. Totally understand. He maintained an iron grip on his station for 4 centuries. He met all challengers without mercy, destroying them and their lines from root to branch. He kept the vampire clan safe from many threats. He successfully hid from the Order of Tridenzer active vampire hunters. He avoided becoming embroiled in the Lich King Wars. During his rule, he made many powerful vampires who owed direct allegiance to him. He was responsible for giving the gift of vampirism to the Blood Siren. He kept close ties with her through their undeath. They were infrequent lovers, but always made a point to share meals together at least once a decade. Interesting. Oh, we've talked about the Blood Siren before. Yeah. Okay. I think I've critiqued that article before. Valentine saves the world. On the night of the shattered moon, the goddess that Valentine had devoted his life to was killed by the invading aberrant forces of the far realm. He followed his vampiric instincts and did nothing, allowing the more excitable mortals to jump into the breach and drive off the invasion of the world. He watched the tragedy of the First Armada with frustration and consternation. He didn't mind mortals spending their lives, but all that wasted blood and life. He decided that the vampire clans would have to finally enter the war against the Far Realm to ensure their own survival and to avenge their goddess. Okay, I love that sentence. But all the wasted blood and life. I just really like that. It just, he's truly selfish, that he only wants to get into it because he sees his cattle, food supply going off and killing themselves. I think that's
Sprinters and marchers, time is up.
For as funny, as dark as this article is, I like that we had a little bit of humor in that. That's definitely a quote. I just need to pull it out. Okay. But then he has the higher, nobler purpose to avenge their goddess. Yeah. Valentine went to the elves first to propose an alliance. He traveled to other mortal nations and organizations who shared the vampires' devotion to the moon goddess. They formed the Shattered Moon Coalition and began to turn the tide of the Far War. Valentine himself joined in the battle and found satisfaction in unleashing his fury against a worthy foe. Towards the end of the war, he took part in the ceremony that turned the corpse of the Bakunawa into the great tree Locorn. He charged into a knot of aberrations who were about to interrupt the ritual. When the ritual was completed, he never reappeared and has not been heard from since. Now that the history books have been written, Valentine is recognized as one of the heroes of the Far War. His crimes have not been forgiven, but the Concordance for Survival acknowledges that it may never have come together without his example. Okay, so I guess I'm maybe a little confused about what happened here. But 8/6 to 7 minutes before slaying last night. Okay, Locorn. Men's belly tree, the shadow moonmakers bar into the circle. Okay. All right. He charged into a knot of aberrations who were about to interrupt the ritual. Okay, so I guess the ceremony that turned the corpse into the tree. When the ritual was completed, he never reappeared. I guess I'm not sure what a knot of aberrations is. To me, I'm envisioning that there was a whole bunch of people, like how would I say it? A rugby scrum. You know how they all get together and they get into it, and it's just like a big rugby scrum where they're all pushing each other. To me, I'm just imagining him jumping into a scrum like that and starting to stop and kill everyone before that. That's exactly what happened. Yes. Okay. All right. Cool. So I got the correct visual, but you're right. You may want to play with that paragraph a little bit. But I mean, I love knot of aberrations. I love the feeling of those words as they roll off the tongue, but they your call. Your call. Oh, end of the article. Okay. Yeah, so that is cool. Okay. Let's talk about awesome. That photo is whoa. How you got that? Okay, bored, not bored, confused. A little bit about the ritual at the end, maybe knowing a little bit more about that, but you do have the tips here to provide a little bit more information, but I'd probably expand that a little bit more. Valentine is wordy. He'd definitely be talking through the whole thing. Okay. Confused? No. Delete? No, I wouldn't delete anything here. Expand. I guess I just maybe expanding a little bit on his mixed. How are the people? Okay, who was the next vampire king? Did they disband? Did because of it was almost like a cult of personality that made him the king of all of the vampire clans? Did it fall apart like after Alexander the Great died? his
All right,
empire
everyone, it's time
broke
to get to
apart.
work.
So it'd be just interesting, after his death or disappearance, is there people who still believe he's alive? And is his memory still impacting the future or the development of this world? Because if he disappeared, I mean, the first rule of comic books, if there's no body, they're not dead. And so the fact that there's not been a body discovered after jumping into and fighting it, there are spoilers for my campaign you're digging into right here. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, you don't want to get into... Well, I'm glad that you and I are walking, mentally, sharing the same path here. Yeah, okay. Then, yeah, no spoilers, I guess. But what a fun article. What a terrifying image that you have there. And again, there's a big Valentine cult among the young elves. Yeah, I would love to have another section there at the bottom that had cultural impact or something, because he's a hero. Despite not being forgiven, he is still considered a hero, and people will worship anything. People will follow. There are flat earthers. What can I say? Yeah. So thank you so much for providing that article. Thank you so much for providing that article for critique. If you would like to submit your 1,500 words of fiction or your world-building articles for review, please visit wgc.bz/submit, and your content could be featured in a future Submit Saturday. Thanks much, everyone, and keep on working.
Thanks for watching this Feedback Frenzy. Be sure to show your support by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell. WriterGreg offers coaching sessions to help bring your world to life, create compelling stories, and accomplish your creative goals. Please visit wgc.bz/coaching for more details.